to Stone's Creative Crafts. This is Kat, and today I'm going to show you how I make this bracelet out of polymer clay. In actual fact, I say bracelet, I have actually been putting it around my pussycat's neck, my little kitten, and he likes it. He doesn't fuss about this at all. Although the thought of anything else around his neck he doesn't like. Now it's rough, this is really rough. I didn't do the best job in the world. I just wanted to just see how flexible it would be, how wearable it would be. So I've worn it and the cat's worn it and it's still going. So the things we're going to need today, of course, are polymer clay. You can see there's air bubbles and stuff in this, like I said, I was just playing around. So you're going to need a ruler because you're going to need to measure. You're going to need some polymer clay, and I have some here already rolled out, and I actually like those rough edges and I'm keeping them. That is from making a sausage and putting it through the pasta machine on a 1. Okay, so we're also going to need some cutters, and for those of you that have seen my video on tools, then you'll know I have Kemper cutters, and I'm going to be using this little one to make my holes for doing it up. Now this part of it here, I cannot remember what these are called, but I'm hoping I'm going to be able to name it in the description below for you. But these are just perfect. And then there's no, I mean, I guess you could pull it off, but it takes a bit of effort to pull it off. It's safe enough for my liking anyway. I've put little crystals on here. I might do that one on this one, I'm not sure. But we're going to need one of those things so we can do it up anyway. Now what I did is I went onto eBay and I asked one of the places if they could give me one of every size and every colour, so that I could, and it was quite cheap, it was only a couple of quid, but that way I knew what I wanted and what I didn't want, rather than buying a whole pack, having to send it back. And I will find a use for these things over time. So, you know, it wasn't a loss to me at all to have these. There's lots of different things I wanted them for. So you're going to need one of these. Like I said, description below, I will find the name. But right now, it evades me. So, anyways, you're going to need a cutter to do your holes. You're going to need your clay. You're going to need, I'm going to be using, this is just plastic and it's somebody else's design, but I'm just going to emboss that all the way through mine. You can use micro powders if you want to colour it. I may colour mine up. So we'll see what it brings us. Colouring it up. Just going to get my micro powders out and then that's ready. Okay, so we're ready to go. It really is this simple. You can do this as wide or as thin as you'd like to do it. It's entirely up to you. But I want something that I'm going to just wear occasionally. And like I said, do you see this jagged edge? Oh, I really like that. And I'd made one like this before. I didn't cook it for long enough, and so when I went to do it up, it just snapped and I was gutted, and it did have this edging to it. So that's why this one's a bit rough and tumble, because I thought, no, I'm going to get this right. And it was just over an hour cooking. And if you do over an hour cooking in something like this, now this is not big enough. I have big ones that you would put a turkey in, but ew, I'm a vegan, don't do turkey. So I was able to lay it on a tile, stick it in a big one of these, put another one on top so it made a lid, and then cook it for an hour. Trust me, it's going to be fine as long as it's tented, covered, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Okay, there goes that. Right, so let's get on with this. So this has a smooth cut edge. Well, anyway, well, that one's just playing, so we don't need to worry about that one. So the average size bangle for a woman's wrist is about 7 inches. But if I measure the one that I previously did, we'll find that that's 8.5, but I know I don't need it that big, so about 8.25. So obviously I need my blade because I didn't get that out. So I'm just going to zoom out so you can see the whole of what I'm doing here, so you can see the whole length of the ruler then. So I'm going to just chop this end to make it clean and tidy. Okay, move the ruler along there, make it about 8.25 inches, get rid of that bit there, sorted. I mean, this is just so easy to do, really. So I'm going to cut out 2 holes, trying to make them central, and if you stretch, like I just stretched that then. And then obviously you're going to have to push it back in place. So I'm going to have to, there we go, just get rid of those bits. I mean, it really is this simple, guys, I'm not kidding. And like I say, cook it for an hour and you'll be fine. So I'm going to use this bit now, and I'm just going to emboss me a pattern. Looking pretty. There we go. And that eradicates any fingerprints. Looks cool, huh? Now, so I could use the micro powders, so let's do that, and then I'm going to cook it and I'm going to glue crystals on after. I'm not going to bake it with the crystals in, because once you've put this the micro powders on, it doesn't take too kindly to trying to stick things on top of it, because the clay becomes unstickable. So a few colours here, purple, clear, well it's kind of like a pinky shimmer, isn't it? So that is what we're going to use, and I'm just going to kind of mess it up a bit, you know. So I did varnish the other one just to see what it looked like, and so it looks kind of good when it's varnished. Now, micro powders, I've done this on several of my videos before, and then I started seeing it as a thing. I always put the micro powder in the lid. I mean, seriously, what a waste. What a waste if you don't, to be honest with you. And so I just want to, I don't care if the sides are black, I don't care if it, you know, obviously is black underneath everything. Now, one good thing about using something to emboss a picture is it hides many sins if you are using like an older piece that you just want to get rid of, because like this piece of black, it's got bits of silver and stuff in it. I've used it to make a mask, and you know, that's now the third bracelet, and so you know, it gets a bit air bubbly. Now, I haven't learnt the art of getting rid of air bubbles in polymer clay, and if anybody knows that art, please share it. I'm loving the comments you guys are leaving, loving your own tips and ideas that you're leaving for me. I think that's absolutely brilliant. My last video was a video on the tools that I use, and my little acrylic rolling pin, and then somebody came up with the idea of a steel pipe. I think that's absolutely fantastic. That's really good. So if you guys ever want any links for any of the things that I use, just ask. I guarantee you most of the things that I get are from eBay, because I live in the countryside, which sounds like yay bliss, but it's not, because there's nothing. There's no shops. No, we had one craft shop. Dear lady, bless her, decided it was time to retire. Like, no, and now I have no craft, and she was expensive anyway, but now I have no craft shops. And this is the thing, isn't it? It's like crafting has become huge all over the world, and they know that we want this stuff and we need this stuff, so it's really expensive, and it's kind of sucky, you know. So I'm just doing any old thing here, really, because I mean, this is for me. I'm actually going to wear this, but I'm not fussed. I don't need it to be a particular kind of anything, so I'm happy just embossing away. Embossing? It's not embossing, is it? My little powders. Anyway, so enough of that, enough chitty chat. I'm going to put these lids on here, just be patient with me a second, because the one thing I've learnt with glitter and micro powders and stuff like that, as soon as you're finished, just please put lid on it. I've had lots of unhappy accidents with things like this. So, okay. So there, honestly, is a finished bracelet. It's actually ready to be cooked. So now I've pulled it up again, I'm just going to measure it. Now, you obviously have to roll yours and do yours as you see fit. Okay. Yeah, that's perfect for me anyway. I'm going to bake this and then I'm going to come back and we'll stick one of these on, you know, one of these little things, claspy things. And we'll stick some little crystals on because I think that'll be good with a little bit of super glue. And we'll see, but like I said, it has to be an hour. Okay, make sure it's an hour, make sure it's tented, and everything will be fine. So I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so it's been baked and it's perfectly flexible. Okay, so here's what it's looking like, if you can see that, all the different colours on it that I picked. And so I'm going to put some crystals on it now. So one thing I need to say is we cut our 2 holes this end with a cutter because we need them slightly bigger. So down this end I drilled a hole, and that I've drilled it just the right size for the screw to go through. Now the screw is called a Chicago stud screw. I looked it up while it was cooking, and I'm just going to put that in and put this end on. Now it does have this bit at the back where you can literally put a screwdriver in and screw it tighter. You could even put glue on there, super glue, but I don't believe anything's ever that permanent, and when and if this breaks I can reuse this, so I just need to keep a check on how tight that is for my sake. So that is a Chicago stud screw is what that's called. Okay, and it's just these 2 parts that go together like that. Okay, so what I've got out for this next bit is I've got some super glue which I've put onto a bag because I have a super glue nozzle with not the greatest of nibs, and there's glue all caked around it and it's really hard to undo and everything else. Excuse me. So I put it on a bag and then I use a cocktail stick. So I've got a few cocktail sticks here really because I also want one for picking the gems up. Oh, go on, can I get one out? Right, okay, so what I used to pick the gems up, I saw this on a video, I'd give credit if I knew who it was, but just get a bit of polymer clay, put it on the end of a cocktail stick and just kind of shape it like this, and then you can pick your crystals up with that, and that's what I do, and that does work really, really well. So I'm just going to look at some of the places where I may want to put some crystals on. I don't want loads. I'm just going to get a bit of glue, and I think that I like the idea of having one there. Now what sometimes helps is actually breaking the end of the cocktail stick off so it's more flatter. That's better, especially for the glue anyway. A little bit of glue there. Don't know if you can see this or not. And then stick one of them on. Now this is for me personally, so I don't care about being too pedantic. Okay, nearly stuck the wrong one in the glue then. Okay, a little bit of glue there. And put that one in place. Can you see how easy that is to pick it up with that? It's pretty cool, huh? So it's going to move along. So they're not going to be in any set straight line or anything. They're just going to be part of the flowers or not. Turn that one over the right way. That's actually quite a not so glowy one. So there is a bit of glue around the edge, but you can clean that up if you want to. Sometimes I go over with a bit of kitchen roll and quickly wipe it up, or you can varnish and then you don't see it if you varnish. So let's add a few more. Definitely one there. And so this, as you can tell by how quick this video is, it doesn't take long to make a nice bracelet like this at all. And you know, you can do it plain like my other one that uses the collar. You can do it quite plain, or you can emboss it like this. There's lots of other things I'm sure you can come up with that you can do, but I also think this is good for kids workshop introduction to clay because obviously it doesn't take very long. So I have now, technically speaking, finished my bracelet, Just gotta wait for the glue to dry, and then that's wearable. So there you have it. That is how you make a bracelet out of polymer clay. It's really quick, really easy, and the possibilities are absolutely endless. So thank you all for your comments and your kind words. Please keep them coming. Questions, lots of questions. I like questions. Pop over to my Facebook page, and I think for the 300th subscriber, I'm probably going to be making something to give away, but it will mean going over to my Facebook page, making sure you like it, and leaving a comment on the Facebook page about what is your favourite video and why. So we've got a little way to go yet. We're at 252 subscribers, so let's keep going, and then I can keep making these videos for you guys. I really enjoy it, and like I said, keep those questions coming in. And you know what, when that's dry, that's going to do up just perfectly. There we go, all done up, ready to wear. There you go, guys. Have a fabulous weekend, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.